Welcome to the LCTV show, a program where we focus on organizations working to make their impact right here in the city of Lynn. And here with me today from the Mass Senior Action Council, the North Shore chapter, we have Rosa Bentley and Kathy Paul. Both of these guys are officers of the Mass Senior Action Council, the North Shore chapter. And we're going to talk a little bit today about the organization, its function, its overall achievements, and what they're trying to improve on in the coming years. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you, young ladies, for coming on to the program. And we're going to talk a little bit about who you are and how you're involved. Rosa, let's start with you.
Mass Senior Action is a grassroots organization. It's been in existence for 36 years. We have had an organization in Lynn for over 20 years. We have 6 chapters for the state of Mass, over 100 members across the state. Mass Senior Action is led by seniors to improve their lives and build their voices.
So you've been involved with the organization for about 5 years. What's really expected out of you in your day-to-day?
Well, not day to day, but
month to month?
Month to month,
Okay.
but when there's issues, if we have issues, then we attend to all of the hearings. Recently, we have been attending meetings at the transportation building regarding the premium fare.
All right.
For the seniors.
So a huge advocate, and you're kind of like one of those grassroots leaders right on the ground, the forefront too. Kathy, I want to jump over to you. You've been a part of this for 10 years. In your 10 years as a member over at the Mass Senior Action Council, I mean, what's really expected out of you? What do you do month to month?
Well, like she said, we go to the transportation office, we go to the State House, we've been fighting health issues for seniors handicap over 65. My husband was a double amputee, and we both started with Mass Senior Action after he lost his first leg. And I've been with them ever since. And it's like, we don't take it, we take charge.
All right.
As seniors, we have a voice, and we all open our mouths and we make sure the whole world hears us.
Amen.
We fought for the ride when it went from $2 to go wherever you wanted to go and $2 to come back. It went up to $4 overnight. Who in their right mind would charge somebody $8 when they used to charge them $4 overnight?
Right.
People just couldn't afford to go. They had to figure out where they had to go and where they didn't have to go. And that was ludicrous, because quality of life is being able to go out and do things. And they finally, after 2 years of us showing up everywhere, including some of us getting arrested for civil disobedience, we blocked traffic between the State House and the Common, and then we also blocked traffic outside the transportation office, but Mr. Davey wasn't even upstairs, we found out after, but that's okay, he was called. And then he said he would have a meeting with us, and we were able to really discuss it. After 2 years, they brought it down to $3. Plus, they also agreed that they would only charge 5% on the dollar every 2 years. So that's why now it's $3.15. But the premium fare now has gone up against us, and we again showed up, put our foot down, and told them under no circumstances, these are people who the only way they get to go anywhere is with the ride. A lot of them are in wheelchairs or walkers. They can't get in and out of small sedans, cars, even family cars. It's difficult for them if they've had a stroke or anything. And we were able to keep the ride on the table, not off the table. Well, it's off the table, really, not on the table. They eliminated it and said, yeah, they'll leave it alone for now. They didn't tell us when they'd come back on us, but right now they're leaving it alone. The premium fare is $5.25, and it involves, like if you go from here to some parts of Peabody, Beverly, all the outskirt areas that they have to be 3/4 of a mile from a bus stop or a station. So there's a lot of people that in those communities, they go to work. They got jobs. Walmart and places have hired them. Now, if they had gone through with it, as of last week, they took it off the table. If they had gone through with it, those people wouldn't have gone to work. They wouldn't be able to go to their doctor's appointments, go to church, visit family members. That's ludicrous.
Right. What you guys do is really important, and we were talking a little bit before the show about types of people that we should really make a priority in society. And I couldn't agree with you more. As seniors among the top tier people, especially your generation, the baby boomer generation. You guys are among some of the most important people in the foundation and the improvement and progress in America. Outside of that, it would be, I would say the disabled as well, veterans, and then students as well. So what you guys do is really important. You give a voice to senior citizens, and organizing and being able to present this argument in an articulate way is so important, especially when it comes to legislation, because it really it speaks volumes to these legislators. It speaks volumes to them in regard to, wow, these guys are organized, they have a function, they have some requests, and we better actually put something into action. You have something to add?
Oh, I was just thinking, because seniors vote, we have more seniors voting than anyone else.
And that's a lot attributed to transportation as well. So the Mass Senior Action Council, we touched on this a little bit. I just kind of want to reiterate this. I'll just read a little bit of an overview here. The Mass Senior Action Council is a membership organization run by senior activists dedicated to social and economic justice for all. We seek not only to win on issues, but to organize in ways that help people learn skills, develop new relationships, and build community. Members are celebrating 36 years of making positive change in their community. That's an impressive number. 36 years in doing anything. I mean, I'm not even 32 yet. So I could just imagine, how committed am I to the things that I care about. And you guys are actually putting your money where your mouth is. I want to talk a little bit about the organization history. And Rosa, I'm going to kick this over to you. I know you talked a little bit about it. 36 years the Mass Senior Action Council has been around, 20 years in Lynn. Can you talk about some of the success stories that you guys have had in the past 20 years right here in the city?
We had some housing issues at one point.
Okay.
Whereas like buildings, when they were built and opened up for residents, that they got a discount on their tax rate, and they were able to give people a lower price for rent. But then by the time they finished paying for their building, their time was able to say, okay, we've had enough, now we want to get market rent. We were able to save a lot of apartments that way, so that the residents who were living there could continue to live there at the same rate, that they were paying. So we've come a long way on that also. But lately we haven't worked too much on housing because we've been really hit hard with the ride and with healthcare issues.
Is housing a prevalent issue right now among the seniors who are involved with the Mass Senior Action Council, among the seniors who live in the city of Lynn?
There's a lot of people who are living in shelters who cannot afford the rent, because not everybody has, like I live in Lynn housing, so my rent is really reasonable. Whereas a lot of people, there's not enough affordable housing. Affordable housing doesn't mean what the world says affordable housing is. That might be affordable for you, affordable housing, but it's not affordable for seniors because we get a fixed check and it doesn't go up and down. And there's we don't have a job, so we can't get any more money. Because why? We don't have the job in the first place. We can't work a second job because we don't have the first job. But people who are still working, they're able to jiggle their bank account by getting another job. We need more affordable housing for seniors and handicapped people, but they're just not there. But that's why the shelters are filling up.
Okay. Something to work towards in the future. I remember there was a significant amount of elderly housing in Lynn maybe 20 years back when you guys had first come into existence, and now that's kind of changed. Can you speak to that at all?
I live in Lynn housing, and as seniors have died, they fill the apartment with a younger person, it used to have a sign out in front of the building that said seniors and handicap. When my husband and I moved in, he had one leg from the knee down gone. There were 2 handicap apartments in each of the 2 buildings. There's 88 apartments in each building, there's 2 of them. Now there's more handicap apartments in the building, but as a senior, when I moved in, it was just seniors. Now we have a lot of younger people, so that means there's not enough affordable housing for seniors, because every day us baby boomers are turning 65. I'll be 70 in July, but there's a lot of baby boomers coming of age, and there's just nowhere for them to go.
So let's talk about this 65 jump, because this seems to be a really important issue. And I got to say thank you guys for coming onto the program, because it kind of gives me an idea to see what's to come in the future. Once you turn 65, there's a lot of obstacles that seniors have to go to. Can you guys speak on this a little bit, Rosa?
Well, once you become 65, you pay 3 times more for your health coverage than a person under 65. So Mass Senior Action is working on a law to get passed that the income limit would go up to $35,000 a year, and you could have $7,500 in the bank.
Wow.
For a single person.
For a single senior.
And 11 for a couple.
So why is it so much more difficult for these seniors who, once you turn 65, all of a sudden it's like your rates are going up? It's getting more difficult for you as you get older. Obviously, your number one concern has got to be health. So that's going to take a priority when it comes to your chunk of change and how you're going to spend it. I mean, why does this happen, and why is
Well,
it?
19 states eliminated the asset test. The asset means what you have in the bank. Right now, it's $2,000 for a single person, $3,000 for a couple. That includes your life policy and any property you have. We just wanted to get up to at least the federal level. Like she said, the price should go up, because it hasn't been changed for 36 years.
Holy
The
smokes.
$2,000.
Right.
That was 36 years ago when they put down the $2,000 for a single person and $3,000. Now you know it costs a lot to be buried. It costs a lot if you own your home as a senior and you have to put a roof or furnace or plumbing or whatever.
Right.
That $2,000 for a single person no way covers anything anymore.
Yeah.
Or $3,000 for a couple.
So today, I mean, we talk about the cost of living just alone. You know, you can expect your rent to go up every 4 years, pretty much is what you see. And like you had said, I mean, if you own your own property, you get in a situation where you need to replace a furnace or maybe you need your roof fixed. You guys have probably owned houses in the past. You've had to fix your roofs. Every 10 years, you need to get a roof fixed. So you're 70 now. Let's assume back when you were 65, you just got your roof replaced. In 5 years, you're going to need your roof replaced. I mean, on a regular 2,000 square foot home, you know, we're talking $10,000 to $12,000. I mean, that is the whole entire monthly stipend that you
means
get.
you have to put a mortgage back on your house or borrow and then hope that every month you can pay for it. Otherwise, you're out the door, they take the house, and then where do you go?
Right. So you guys have had some success most recently, and we talked a little bit about the organization function. Big part of it is transportation, offering affordable health care, and you know, a smaller part that you guys are working on, but you haven't been really, because you're talking about this healthcare aspect, is housing. We talked a little bit about the transportation back in 2012. You guys have had some success with the ride. And most recently, last week, you guys even had some more success in keeping this figure where it needs to be. Let's talk about this story. Let's talk about how you guys were able to achieve this. And Rosa, I'm going to allow you to kind of just start off with this. Go ahead.
Well, we went to every meeting that the T had, and we expressed to the T how we felt about them eliminating the ride. So basically, this is how we achieved it.
So let's talk about examples now. So let's say I'm 66 years old, okay, and this ride figure goes up like it was anticipated to do. And this guy's going to need to make compromises on his own budget, right? And that compromise could come from healthcare. It could come from housing. I mean, it's got to be really difficult. I mean, I couldn't imagine it.
Well, see, people
Supposed to be the golden years.
right, but see, people don't realize that there's seniors that retired 30 and 40 years ago. At the time that they was employed, they was making very little money. Some seniors only get about $600 or $700 a month. So that's not money to live off in today's economy.
Absolutely
And
not.
if you raise the ride fare, you eliminate the premium fare, what is seniors going to do? They won't be, well, if you raise the fare, seniors won't have money to buy food nor their medicine. So the asset limit needs to be moved up, and the amount of money that you can earn a year, but not the seniors. If you're that old, you can't earn any money, but you just can't go up on the prices of everything.
Absolutely. And it's one of these things that, you know, we're in the city of Lynn. There are hundreds of nonprofits here. A lot of them are dedicated to, you know, youth education. Some of them are dedicated to, you know, rehab clinics. Others are dedicated to, you know, feeding the homeless. But it seems to me, just like, that for some reason, seniors have kind of taken a back seat. And it's like, you know, this isn't going away. We should always understand that we're going to have people who are getting old. I mean, these are grandmothers, grandfathers. I couldn't imagine. You know, my grandfather ended up working at the GE. He's got, you know, a pension and all that type of stuff. I couldn't imagine if he didn't work there, at what type of struggle he would go through, and as a result, the rest of the family too. You guys have been advocating big with legislators in the state of Massachusetts. You're working to advocate with legislators at the federal government. Most recently, you talked a little bit about, you guys had blocked off traffic and there was a protest in order to do this. Can we revisit that? Can we talk a little bit more about that?
Okay.
So you guys actually got up one morning, blocked traffic, and then you were heard.
Well, we had been going to the State House, visiting legislators and everybody, and yes, they were agreeing with us that yes, seniors were the ones that were getting abused, but we weren't getting anywhere.
Right.
It was still the same old, same old. They've got a lot of other issues that they have to deal with, and we just weren't as important. But one day we had this cardboard bus, and some people in wheelchairs and some in folding chairs, and we just took over the street between the State House and the Boston Common. The cars were honking horns, and just certain ones were sitting in the chair. We had already worked with them. They knew what they had to do and not be afraid. And when the police arrived, one of the policemen got on his hands and knees to one of our ladies and said, "Please, you look like my grandmother, and I wouldn't want any of these guys to touch my grandmother. Please get on the sidewalk." And they said no. So some of them left in the paddy wagon. They went to court. The judge, it was just a misdemeanor, but we still had to go to court. We got a little press coverage for that, and that helped us a little bit to get the world to understand that, yeah, seniors just don't have that kind of money. You think we're multimillionaires. We're not.
Right.
We live from check to check.
Right.
I myself get less than $800 a month. My rent is $222, thank God. But if I had to live in a regular apartment, my check wouldn't cover the rent. That would be impossible. Never mind anything else. I do have some food stamps. I get $125 in food stamps, but even that doesn't cover the whole month.
Right. It definitely doesn't allow you to live comfortably. And this is amazing to me. I mean, you guys talk about Mass Senior Action Council. Like, you guys you took action, you went in front of the State House. Yeah, we know you hear us, but we're tired of being heard. Now we want action to be taken.
Yes.
Here's our
So we
action,
took
here's
to
our
the street.
demonstration.
And we let the world know that we're not taking this. We're going to fight back.
Unbelievable.
Doesn't matter what we're doing. Well, then we went, again, the second time we did it was outside the transportation office. Out of PVC pipe, we made a jail cell. It was in 4 sections, painted gray with gray tape. Once it got there, put it together, Several of us, 5 of us, would sit inside the jail cell. The policeman walked up and said, first we need to take your jail cell away. It's a very nice jail cell, but we need to take it away. You can't have any obstruction in the street. Then they asked us, please, to get on the sidewalk. I said, we can't do that. There is no way. So the others agreed, and we stayed there. And he told us the paddy wagon would be there in about 10 minutes. That's all right, we stood there, still blocking traffic. He told us, we don't hit you with water bats or anything, tear gas you or do anything,
Right.
Just stand on the sidewalk. We'll even give you somebody there at night if you want to stay there all day and all night. Make sure that somebody watches and protects you. Nope, won't work. So then I was escorted to the paddy wagon. I asked for my handcuffs. He told me they didn't need them. Got to the paddy wagon. I then again asked, where are my handcuffs? When you go to jail, you got handcuffs.
Yeah.
He didn't. He goes, no, honey, just climb up. They were very gentle. The police were really great both times.
Unbelievable.
And I got in the paddy wagon. Now do I get my handcuffs? And I put my hands in back again, and he goes, if you insist, put them in front because we don't want to hurt your rotor cuffs. So I got my handcuffs. Then we went to jail, and they didn't even fingerprint us or photo us. They just told us to come back and we would go to court. And we went, it was several months before we went. The judge was very nice, and he said, I commend you. That's what the United States is all about, was people fighting for their rights. But please get on the sidewalk. And I told him, I don't think we can do that. So we told him we might be back, but we never had to go back. We finally got transportation to agree and listen to us, and ever since then we've been working with them, but then they pulled the thing on the premium fare and we went back after them.
Guys, I want to thank you so much for coming onto the program,
You're
telling us a little bit about your story. The Mass Senior Action Council North Shore Chapter, you can reach out to these guys at the information at the bottom of your screen. A lot of outstanding work being done by these young ladies and other people just like you as well. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you to my staff, and I'm going to wish you well. That's it for the LCTV show from the studio here at Lynn Community Television. I'm Sean Donahue, wishing you all the best.